So, hello. Today we'll start our first project in Go, and welcome to my first installed Ubuntu system. For now, I have only VSCode and Go installed there, so this is the only difference from your operation system, okay? So it's how do you install these tools. And let's start our VSCode and make this text editor to work like IDE for Golang. Okay, so first thing we need to do is open extension tab, which is Ctrl+Shift+X for me, okay, and search for Go. Here you can see Go and Go Nightly. Go Nightly is the bleeding edge technology, but it's not advised to install this one, so we'll use the stable version, which is just Go. Go team at Google, which is the correct author. Okay, just press install. Yeah, so now we have this extension installed. Let's then proceed and create our first Go project. What do? We have to create a special folder for it. Let's keep all our project in folder src, but you can use any name you want. And create the first project, which will be Hello World. Yeah, it's a tradition, you know. So here we can see this text editor with some advices. You can click it or just ignore it, doesn't matter. And our folder is empty, as expected, okay? How do we tell the operation system and Go compiler that this folder is not just an empty folder but a Go project? We need to initialize it. Let's say command init and give it a name like hello world. Okay. What does this command do? It just creates the go.mod file. You can actually do it on your own, and that will be the same. Okay. This file contains the module name, which is hello world as it was spoken here, and Go version, which is 1.18, and this is the default version installed on my operation system. But you can use any. Well, it's not advised to use older one. Okay, 1.18 is okay, but please don't try to use any older version. Okay. Oh yes, so let me just a bit increase the font size, so it should be a bit more readable. Okay. So what do we do next? We have this special file go.mod, but it's not enough just to run the program because there's no program yet. And we will use the command pattern when we create the CMD folder. This folder will contain all our binaries. Well, I mean source for our binaries, not binaries compiled, okay? And for our first project, we wanted to have only one binary, which is called hello world. Let's name it the same way. It's hello world. And let's create the empty Go file here, okay? main.go. So, as soon as we open first Go file, VSCode offers us to install the required tools. Let's just click install all. Here you can see all the tools that need to be installed here. All these tools need to procedure code, to format it, to run it, to debug it, and we'll cover it a bit later. Just let's wait a bit.
2 hours later.
Right now we have all the tools we need installed, okay? And let's start our first program. We started like a package, hello package main, because we want it to be the entry point for our program, and create the func main. And let's just fmt that print line and put here some hello world. Yep, as usually. As you can see, VS Code already done this for us, and it's run Go imports, and we don't need to import fmt manually. That's good. That's very convenient. Okay, and save this code. Linting is running on every save. It, um, it is very well agile here. You can set up any checks you want, but it's okay for us right now. We'll cover any linter stuff later. Just use the default settings for now, and it helps you to build your code better, build your code cleaner, and follow the most common standards. Okay, so what else can we do here? Okay, let's assume we have a code like this. It actually does nothing useful, just a hello world. We can remove it because we don't need it anymore. Okay, so now we have a loop. If you know any other language, so it seems pretty the same because we have a for keyword and a count from 0 to 10 or to 9 because we don't include 10 here. Okay, and do it one by one. And what do we do in the body of this loop? We just print this equation, which is 10 divided by I minus 3. You already can guess that at some point this code will fail because in math we can't divide by 0, okay? But let's make sure that's true for our case. So we just run without debugging, Control F5, okay? So run it. And yeah, we see this panic message here. Let me just, oh no, it's too huge, okay. Get back to here. Okay, so we have a panic message. We can guess that something went wrong. And actually what goes wrong here? So it shows us that the main.main fails because of panic. So we just click on this link and it put our cursor onto the required string and the required row. So we can see these row number 7, okay, it fails. And yes, we can guess why, but it's obvious example. And let me show you what tools do we have to catch the error in this case. Okay, so we can see the message integer divide by 0. That means that something is divided by 0. We can take a look at this row and see, so it could be somewhere here. Okay, so we click on the left from the row numbers. It puts the red dot, which is breakpoint. That means that we can break code running here. But um, okay, let's try to do this. And this time we'll start with debugging, which is F5. Okay, our code run, and we stopped here. What can we do? We can use watch. Let me just remove it and show you again. So we can add watch I, which is 0. Obviously, okay, this first time we hit this loop body, so I equals to 0. But we want to find when this equation will be 0. Okay, so we just put it like a new expression, I minus 3, and in this case it's just minus 3. Okay, and next we have this stylish brand new debugging panel that wasn't present here before, and we have just the continue button, step over, step into, and step out. Well, the stop and restart are actually obvious by the name. In the most cases, you will use continue and step into. Sometimes step over are actually useful too. Okay, what does it mean? Um, if you press just continue, we say that's okay for us and go further. It will continue before the next breakpoint. So we stop the same row. You can see here that changes the value of I was changed, and also the I minus 3 was changed. Okay, and we just pressed continue button, so it ran, and hit the next breakpoint, which is the same breakpoint, but we are in a loop. So we came here again. Okay, in our case, the step over and the step into, step out will be actually the same for us in this case, because it makes sense when we use functions, when we call different packages and we want just to hit the main point and find what happens in our code, so we use others. But for now, we can just click step over and we hit this row because it's the next step for our code, and it just does plus plus and then comparing. Okay, so we did it here, and now we hit the same point again. We can see a new updated value for I and I minus 3. Okay, and step into, doesn't matter, it just shows us what is print, but we don't need to go deeper into the Go code. So we want to exit and we press step out. Okay, so we just get back from the called function. Let's continue. Okay, so now we see that I equals 3, I minus 3 equals 0, obviously. We try to continue, and ta-da, fatal panic. Okay, so we hit the point that we need to fix. But that was obvious. Let me display you one more thing we can do with breakpoints. Yeah, we need some obvious examples just to take a look at what we can do. Okay, so we click on the breakpoint with your right mouse button and add this, add conditional breakpoint. Here we can put the condition I minus 3 equals 0. And the next time we run our code with the debugging, so we press start debugging F5, we stopped at this breakpoint, but take a look at the watch. You see, it equals 3 and I minus 3 equals 0. That's because we had these conditional breakpoint, and we will stop here only when condition is true. So we skip the case when I was 0, 1, and 2 because it's not. How do we calculate I minus 3 equals 0? Okay, and when we hit I equals 3, we stopped. And if we press the continue button, we'll get the panic again, obviously, because we haven't an fix here. What can we do? So why do we actually need debugging? So we know that when I minus 3 equals 0, our code fails. So let's just add something awful code. It's a bad code. We usually don't do like this, but this example is another thing we usually do. So we can put I equals 3, then we just continue. Or not just continue, but also we can fmt print line and put 0 division was ignored. So no more 0 division. And let's save our file and run without debugging. And yes, we can see the result. Minus 3, minus 5, minus 10, 0 division ignored, and the program continues the execution. You can see exit status exit status 0, which means the normal exit from program. So this is the simple debugging, and you will use it a lot during our course, and it's very useful, and it will be very helpful if you start using debugger from the very beginning. Okay, thank you.